All right, we're going to solve this word problem by writing a system of equations. By the way, those equations, I want to stress the word equations plural. There's going to be two of them, and they're going to have two variables. Let's read the problem. The Richmond High School Science Department is purchasing new Earth Science and Physics textbooks this year. Ms. Gupta has requested 87 Earth Science books and 68 physics books for all her classes, which costs $7,715. Mr. Middleton has asked for 87 science books and 96 physics books, which cost $9,423. How much do the textbooks cost? I'm going to say that another way. How much do the science books cost and how much do the physics books cost? So let's make a note here and let's use two different letters, variables. What letter do you think we might want to use for the cost of a science book? Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's use S to represent the cost of a science book. And while we're at it, what about physics? Let's use P for that, you think, maybe? For a physics book? How about we use P for the cost of a physics book? Good, a letter that kind of makes sense for us. Let's use P of a physics. Okay. And we'll use Miss Gupta, we'll do Miss Gupta's class in, let's say, red. So Miss Gupta has 87 science books and 68 physics books, and it costs that. Let's write that equation in red. For 87 science books, let's write 87S, and for, let me put Gupta here, 87S plus 68P, right? And that is what, 7715, yes? And then let's use blue for Mr. What is it, Middleton? So Mr. Middleton has 87 science books and 96 physics books, and it cost $94.23. So 87S plus what? 96P physics books, and that's 94.23. I think we might need a calculator in a minute here. Tell me when you wrote those down, and we'll be ready to go on. Okay, good. Now we need to eliminate one of the variables here, and this one would be the easiest to eliminate because we need a positive 87 and a negative 87, don't we? So we could make one of those, doesn't matter which one, negative. What would we have to, which one do you want to change to negative, the first equation or the second equation? Okay, so if we make this, what would we have to multiply to make that one negative? What would we have to multiply by? Good, -1. So let's do that. If we do that, and by the way, I'm going to use another word besides -1. I'm going to use the word opposite. Is that okay? What's the opposite of 87S? Negative 87S. The opposite of 68P is negative 68P. And the opposite of 7715 is negative 7715. The other equation, we don't even have to change, but we do have to write it down again. That's, oh, I got some stuff left over there, sorry. The other equation will just stay the same after I get rid of that other stuff here. Let me fix that before I move on here, I'm sorry. That was left over on my whiteboard. All right, so the other equation will just stay 87S plus 96P is equal to positive 94.23. And now we're ready to add these, right? We add these, don't they just cross off, add up to 0? If we add negative 68 and positive 96, isn't that the same as 96 minus 68? And I'm thinking, what is that 20? Is that 20? 28, is that right? Yeah. So 20, let's go to black. 28p. And then if we, instead of saying negative 77.15 plus 94.23, couldn't I also say 94.23 minus 77.15? All right, I'm going to use my calculator. You can do it too. 94.23 minus. Okay. Tell me what you get there. Is that what you got? So isn't that a pretty easy equation to solve now? I mean, we need a calculator probably, but what are we going to divide by? Okay, I think it'll come out to an even number, but sometimes. What'd you say? I think you're right. 1708 divided by 28. Yeah. 61. So 61. So the price of a physics book is $61. Let me highlight that with a box here. Oh, what do you mean the second half? You didn't. Oh, then the rest of it, you mean, right? The other part of the. Okay. So now we're going to go back to either the red or the blue, whichever one you like better. Tell me what you think. They'll both work, but which one do you want to work with? The blue one or the red one? The original equation. Okay. The blue one is fine. So let me make a little more room. And I'm going to write that blue equation, but watch how I write the P. The blue equation is 87s plus 96 times P equals 94.23. When I erase the P, what could I replace it with? Of course, you're right, 61. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to erase the P. I'm going to replace it with 61. And I need a calculator. Let's do that. What is 96 times 61? 96 times 61. I'm thinking 58, 56. So 87s plus 80, 58. Did I say 58? 56? I think that's what I said. Equals 94.23. I'll bet you can tell me what we have to do next. But yes, yes, you are exactly right. We are going to subtract 58, 56 from both sides. Use your calculator for that too, probably. And I got 3567. Did you? 87s is equal to 35, 3567. And of course, now we're just going to divide both sides of that. I still have stuff that I didn't erase from my whiteboard from before. Sorry. We're still going to divide both sides by 87. Again, probably want to use your calculator for that. So if we divide that by 87, I get 41. Did you? Okay, now we're done with the problem, but I'm going to make sure that you see. But like always, we don't want to put these in on Excel until we're sure that they're right. But if you need time to write that down, go ahead and write it. I'm just going to put it up here at the top. Science books are $41, and physics books were $61. The way we can check our answer, tell me when you're ready, is to go back to the red equation and the blue equation and make sure that when we replace, I don't want to use the word have to, but it's a good idea. You should check your answer here. Of course, like I said, if you put it in and it's right, it'll tell you it's right. But if it's wrong, you lose points. So for the red equation, right? For the red equation, we could say 80. We should ask, I should say, 87 times S. I'm going to erase the S in a minute. Plus 68 times P. I'm going to erase that in a minute. We should get 77.15. So instead of the S, I should write, I forgot, 41, right? And instead of the P, when I erase that, I should put 61. So let's go ahead and multiply. 87 times 41 is 3567. And 68 times 61 is 4148. And if we add those, do we get 7715? I don't know. Let's check that out. 4148 plus 3567. Yes, I do get that. Okay. Now, that's not really enough. We also should check it. I can't emphasize this enough. You should do this. We should also do the blue one, 87, right? Plus 96. And that should equal 9423. So this time, instead of, well, not this time, same as before, we're going to put 41 here and 61 here. Okay, 87 times 41 is 35, 6. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, still 35. We did that before. 35, 67. But this time, 96 times 61 is 5856. And if we add 5856 plus 3567, yeah, we do get 9423. So that means our answers are correct. If those answers, when we substitute them back, give us the correct dollar amount, the two amounts as expanded.